Some high clouds settling in over Rangers ballpark in Arlington. A brisk breeze blowing in from right center field as we get ready to see Game 2 of this weekend series. It's the Rangers and the Detroit Tigers. And welcome in, everyone, along with Tom Greaves, Steve Busby. Glad you could join us tonight for this Friday night of Ranger baseball. A couple of sinker ballers going tonight, and two very good young sinker ballers, both of them 24 years old. But first things first, the Rangers have a great bench this year, and it's a very deep bench. And you're going to talk about a couple of guys that have really contributed coming off that bench.
Absolutely, Buzz. First one is Leury Garcia. Now, Leury is not a typical utility guy because technically he's a 22-year-old prospect who is playing in a utility role. This kid eventually could be an everyday player. He has the tools to do that. Going to look at a couple of things he's done when he's gotten a chance to play. Watch the range from shortstop as he comes almost to first base to make the play defensively. He's a terrific defensive player. He's not necessarily a little guy when you see him hit the ball almost over the wall in Seattle for a stand-up triple. He's done it offensively and defensively. Same with Giovanni Soto, filling in for A.J. Przinsky. This is a terrific defensive throw to get a runner at third base with no outs at a key part of the ball game. Last night, to kind of put the game away against Justin Verlander, Giovanni hit a 3-run homer. So both of these guys are getting an opportunity. They've both played well defensively when they get a chance. Giovanni got the big home run in last night's game. Nice to see.
Nice to see. And the Rangers, though, the value of having a deep bench that is contributing. And the Rangers certainly have that. Mitch Moreland and company getting ready to tee it up against the Detroit Tigers. Game 2 from Rangers Ballpark in Arlington. Coming up next on TXA 21. By your Texas Ford dealer. Visit your Texas Ford dealer and drive the best-selling trucks for 36 straight years. Ford is the best in Texas. By AT&T UVerse TV. And by TXU Energy, the right things right now. 1-866-CALL TXU. A very high overcast as Nick Tepesch out to the mound. The 24-year-old right-hander will face this lineup as presented by Jim Leland, the Tigers manager. Andy Dirks leads off. Torrey Hunter is in right field. Miguel Cabrera bats third and plays third. Cleanup hitters, the first baseman, Prince Fielder. DHing, Victor Martinez. Alex Avila's the catcher. Hitting seventh, playing shortstop, Johnny Peralta. Don Kelly is in center field. And Ramon Santiago gets the start at second, and he bats ninth.
And we'll look at the scouting report for Nick Tepesch. Solid start to his major league career. 3-3 with an ERA right around 4. Sunday versus Houston, one of his best starts. 6 innings, only threw 84 pitches, gave up a solo home run for the only run, and struck out 8 batters. Only walked 1 batter in that game. He's been exceptionally tough on right-hand hitters. 186 opponent's batting average. That's the 5th best in the American League. And his last start, he got his command back, got his sinker back. He'd had gone a couple of starts without good command, without his good sinker. Hopefully it'll be right where it was against Houston tonight against the Tigers.
Well, that first pitch, any indication, is pretty close to where it was last time out against Houston. Andy Dirks leading off, and he takes inside to even the count, and a ball and a strike. Dirks, a .255 hitter. 4 home runs, 13 driven in. And that pitch just off the inside part of the plate. 2-1. Ron Copeland tonight calling the balls and strikes. Mike Malinsky at first, Phil Custy at second, and the crew chief Jerry Meals is over at third. Tepesch with a 2-1 pitch. A rip and a miss as he went upstairs with it. Well, Nick Tepesch, if you can say a 24-year-old after only a few starts the way he's had, is settling in. Nick Tepesch is settling in.
Yeah, I think he is too, Buzz.
Yeah.
I think he's got the makeup for it. You know, he's pretty much an unflappable kid. Who knows what's going on inside? I'm sure he feels the same things inside that everybody else does. But outwardly, very calm, very businesslike. Looks to me the same way, like he's settled in pretty nicely.
Yeah, and you know, he doesn't say a whole lot. I mean, he's not an outgoing personality type, but everything that he says is very positive about what he's trying to do. It's not, you know, kind of the typical response, well, I don't know this, I don't know that. Boy, he jammed Dirk pretty well. Leroy Garcia, the second baseman, up with it. And on to first. That is 1 out on a jam shot grounder. Rest of the Ranger defense tonight, Murphy, Martin, and Cruz left, center, and right. Marlin at first. You saw Garcia at second. Elvis Andrus, the shortstop. Adrian Beltre at third. Giovanni Soto handling Nick Tepesch tonight. Torrey Hunter, right fielder for the Detroit Tigers up there. And he takes just off the inside corner for ball 1.
You know, it's funny how a big league season unfolds. When Nick made the team out of spring training, on paper, you would say, well, the Rangers have a strong starting rotation. Colby Lewis will be back soon, and then Nick will go back to the minor leagues. And hopefully Colby will be back soon. But in the meantime, Alexia Gondo is on the disabled list. Matt Harrison's going to miss probably most of the season, at least the first half of the season. And so his performance now becomes even more critical.
Look at Colby Lewis there. You know, I didn't realize how good Nick Tepesch was. That last pitch that he threw, it had a double break to it, because as soon as it was hit, it hit the side of the mound and kicked right over to Garcia. It's tough to throw that pitch. It really is.
Yeah.
That's an experience.
You teach that to the kids you work with?
Yeah, I try to, but that's
got to have the aptitude to learn it, I
right
guess.
beyond me. Now Cabrera. Now watch this. He'll throw it. It goes one way. Now he hits the mound. It goes right over to Garcia.
That's just smart pitching.
Taking
advantage of the field.
That's right.
That mound's there for everybody to use, but he did take advantage of it.
Miguel Cabrera, the count of 2 balls and no strikes, and Cabrera following up his Triple Crown season last year with another outstanding start to this year. That's hit high in the air, and that will drift back into the seats down the right side. Good crowd on hand here tonight, somewhere in the neighborhood of 40,000 or so, anticipated for Fireworks Friday.
Now, Cabrera is just a nightmare to pitch to. He doesn't strike. He's only struck out 22 times, 160 at bats. He's obviously got power.
Hard hit. And Elvis will not have a play that time.
He almost did it
worked
to him
last
again.
night. That worked last night. Adrian deflected a shot last night off his glove out in front of Elvis Andrews, so he was able to pick it up and fire on the first of the out. But this time, it didn't work.
Tell you what, you hit that ball off the third baseman to the shortstop 2 nights in a row, and you are hitting into some bad luck.
Yeah.
Adrian blocked the ball last night, only it was closer to Elvis, and Elvis picked it up and threw him out at first. That's a tough ball to handle. I'm sure that's a base hit.
It is. It was ruled that, and rightfully so.
Cabrera is like a contact hitter who hits the ball to all fields with ultimate power.
The fielder grounds right into the teeth of that overshift. Uri Garcia handles all 3 assists in the first inning. Tigers get a hit, but strand a runner. Tigers do not score. Rangers coming up bottom of the first inning. In a scoreless ball game. And here's Ron Washington's lineup tonight. Elvis Andrews will lead things off. He's at short. Second baseman Uri Garcia bats second. He's Lance Berkman. Adrian Beltre is the cleanup hitter. Nelson Cruz in right field batting fifth. Mitch Moreland at first base. Giovanni Soto catches in seventh. David Murphy is in left field. And batting ninth, the center fielder, Leonis Martin.
Rick Porcello on the mound for the Tigers. 1-2 ERA, .668. 6 starts, 1 relief appearance. Last 3 starts, though, have gone well. 1-0, nice ERA. Opponent's batting average right around 200. 2-3, .783. 5 career starts against Texas. He struggled against the Rangers. The other thing I noticed in their notes, Buzz, that they alluded to, first time in his career that he's ever had 3 straight starts, his 3 most recent starts, where he struck out at least 5 batters in the game. He's got like 18 strikeouts in 19 in the third innings in his last 3 games, and opponents are hitting .203. So the overall numbers don't always tell the story. I guess it's more important, what are you doing right now? And right now seems to be better.
Well, that's certainly what the Rangers are more concerned with.
Yeah.
what he's doing right this minute. Elvis, a chop foul at home plate. It's no balls and 2 strikes. Now, the last 3 Porcello outings have come against Atlanta, Houston, and Cleveland. Well, a couple of pretty good hitting ball clubs, and Houston mixed in there. 0-2 to Elvis. .268 the average. Elvis substituting at the top of the order for Ian Kinsler, who was in the lineup originally, but because of that chest problem he suffered last night diving into third base, not intentionally, but diving in there on the slide that went a little bit rougher than he wanted to. He's forced to miss tonight. So Elvis just moves up a spot, and Uri Garcia fills in at second and hitting second. Porcello, the over-the-top wind and the 0-2 pitch. That's way outside. Well, last night, Ian's real tough night. Going from first to third, and watch his hands. His hands stuck. And that left his head and chest. Then he got hit with a curveball, and that wasn't much of an issue. But the chest, diving into third base and having his chest make contact with that bag first, that came up a little bit sore today. And another chop foul. Still 1-2.
Now, Buzz, you mentioned both pitchers are sinker ball pitchers. Since 2009, when Porcello got to the big leagues, his ground ball fly ball ratio is about 2-to-1. That's the fourth best over that time in the American League. This year, Tepesh is a little higher than that. His is second best early in the season among American League starters. So right off the bat, in the first inning, Tepesh got 4 ground balls. One turned into an infield hit, but there were 3 outs and ground balls to second base. So it looks like his sinker is doing what he wants it to do. We'll see about Rick Porcello.
A lot of striking similarities between Porcello and Nick Tepesh. Of course, Porcello's had, this is his 5th year in the major league level, but both of them are 24. Pitch to Elvis, got him on the 5th from behind third. Cabrera across the diamond. Elvis out by a step. 1 away, and Leory Garcia coming up.
I guess it shows you, Buzz, that there's different ways to get to the big leagues. Porcello was a high draft choice, #1 draft choice, would have been higher, but his signability was a question mark. The Tigers took him late in the first round, gave him $6 or $7 million in a big league contract. He went right to the minor leagues the next year. Only had 1 year in the minor leagues, then had a full season in the big leagues when he was 20. And so here he is in his 5th season at age 24.
Leory Garcia laces one to left. In a hurry is Dirks, and he was able to make the catch. Got a good read and a good break on that ball. And Leory Garcia, nothing to show for a well-hit line drive. 2 outs.
He wasted no time stepping up there and lining the ball. He's done a nice job offensively and defensively every time he gets a chance to play. So that's the way Porcello got to the big leagues. Nick Tepesh went to college. He pitched 3 years at the University of Missouri. Then he got 300 innings in the minor leagues. And so he's just starting his big league career at age 24. Porcello has a head start on him, but as they say, it's not how you start, it's how you finish. Let's see what happens from here on out.
Lance Berkman fouls off the first pitch to the left, and it is 0-1. Lance at 286 for the season. 3 home runs, 21 RBI, had a couple in last night's ball game. On base percentage still well above 400. 0-2. Lance, of course, the switch hitter. Sees a lot more action from the left side of the plate than he does from the right side, which is true for almost every switch hitter. Porcello with the 0-2 pitch. That's fouled out of play. The one thing that Porcello has done to the first 2 hitters and now to Lance Berkman too is get ahead of him. He has gotten ahead very, very quickly. Strike 1 and then strike 2 when the ball hasn't been put in play. And that's something that Porcello has not always done effectively. But that apparently is one of the things that has changed for him and changed for the good for him. Pitch foul back, tried the off-speed pitch, and Berkman able to fight it off.
Porcello's best year was his rookie year at age 20. He went 14-9, had an ERA under 4. Since that time, his best ERA is 4.59. He hasn't really been able to duplicate his rookie season.
Check swing foul.
He's been so young, they really haven't extended him. He's never had 200 innings in the season. But he's had at least 10 wins in every one of his 4 major league seasons.
And Berkman, a line shot by the diving Santiago into right center field, a base hit. He kept throwing strikes to Berkman, and Lance kept fouling a couple of them off and got one he could handle. Hit it solidly for the 2-out single.
Yeah, it looked like Elvis saw the best of Porcello's sinkers. It's tough to tell with Garcia. He hit the first pitch, but he hit a high sinker that never got a chance to sink. Berkman hit a belt high fastball, but didn't have a chance to sink either. So usually the story for a sinker ball pitcher is make him get it up. And last couple of hitters have had pitches that were up and hit them hard.
Adrian Beltre takes outside for ball one. Adrian and Berkman, the only two that did not have hits in last night's ball game, but they did produce runs. 265 the average. Beltre now to 26 RBI. And a very good career number against Rick Porcello. Takes a strike to even the count. Beltre starting to heat up as the weather gets warmer. So does Adrian. And those numbers will tell you that is the case again in 2013. Berkman took off, and Porcello got halfway through his motion, heard somebody yell, "There he goes," and just stopped. So Berkman's going to be at second anyway. It just turns into a balk.
He gets robbed out of a stolen base.
Yeah, he did.
Porcello never saw him. Someone yelled to Porcello. Is the only reason he stopped. I don't think he knows what happened. It was too late to stop. He'd already started his motion to the plate.
Now, if you're looking somewhere for the definition of brain cramp, that was it.
Or how about the definition of a good jump?
Yeah, great jump.
Who got the jump like that last night?
You know what? That may be a stolen base for Berkman. I think you have the choice. It's kind of like a hit.
Do you? Whatever works best for the hitter, for the runner?
I think so. We'll have to ask the officials for it when we get a chance to.
Okay.
1-2 the count to Beltre. Out of play down the right side. Adrian staying alive at a ball and 2 strikes. Lance Berkman, a little larceny going on here in the first inning.
They say it came up balk, Buzz.
Came up balk, okay. That is the official word. Porcello sets, he checks Berkman. Again, the 1-2 and another foul ball. And Porcello kind of having the same type of beginning that Yu Darvish had last night. Not giving up a whole lot, but not being able to put hitters away, getting a lot of foul balls. Both Berkman and Beltre fouling off a lot of pitches. And Darvish able to make the adjustments last night after about 3 1/3 innings. Again, the 1-2 pitch. Got him swinging. 94 away, and Beltre couldn't catch up. Now the Rangers get a hit, but strand a runner. We'll go to the second inning in Arlington. Tigers nothing, Rangers nothing on TXA 21.
Buzz, folks up here in the community corner enjoying a little breeze cooling things off right now, but we're up here to talk about the Keep Living program. During the school year, participants ran several races, including half of a marathon, and they did countless hours of community service as they learned about living healthier lifestyles. The Rangers Foundation is proud to support 3 high school programs right here in North Texas. You can find out more at texasrangers.com/foundation. Buzz?
All right, Joe, thank you. Great program Rangers Foundation involved with there. And helping a lot of kids. Victor Martinez on a 1 and 1 strike, leading off the second inning for the Tigers. Nick Tepesch back to him. And a changeup, and it's 1-2. Nick starting to use that changeup more and more as he settles into a starting role at the big league level, anyway. Line foul down the left side, 1 hop into the seats, right over the tarpaulin. It's still 1 and 2 strikes.
I think you have to be pretty impressed with the assortment of pitches that Nick has. He's got a 90 to 92 mile an hour sinker, curveball, slider, and a changeup. He's got all 4 traditional pitches. Looks like he's got good makeup, good presence on the mound. He's got good experience at a solid college program. He's got 300 minor league innings. Certainly hasn't been overmatched at the big league level.
Sure hasn't.
If anything, there's been a couple of times where he's overmatched the other team.
2-2 pitch. That breaking ball is lowered inside. No, the count has gone full. You know, that last foul ball, and Tom's always talking about the fans bringing out a glove. He needed a glove on his chest. He was going to handle
what
that.
happened? That ball had spin on it. He put his glove where that ball looked like it was going, but the spin brought it back to his chest. That's what big league fielders have to deal with occasionally, and sometimes they miss them, and you wonder why. It's because of that spin.
Yeah, another second shot at it. Oh. No matter where you go, the ball will find you. So, no, not again. I can't. No. Okay. Woo. That was close. Again, the 3-2. Way inside, ball 4. And Victor Martinez coaxes a leadoff walk from Nick Tepesch. So Martinez aboard, nobody out. Alex Avila, the catcher, will step in. Got some good news on the medical front. Alexi Ogando, you remember, had an MRI yesterday, and the results came back. No structural damage for Alexi. So it's a matter of giving him a little time off and probably some medication to get the inflammation out of there and get right back to work.
If anything, it'll work as a nice rest. It'll make him stronger in the second half of the season.
Avila fouls the first pitch away to the left. It is 0-1. Avila off to a slow start, 189 with the average. That's 4 home runs, though, and driven in 9. Last 4 games, you can see he's kind of magnified that slump just a bit. Tepesch would love to get a ground ball at an infielder right here. 0-1 pitch. And it's 0-2. Nick throwing the curveball that time, taking a little bit off the breaking ball.
That's a good curveball,
yes,
too.
Sir.
Very good curveball.
Giovanni Soto flashing the signs out. Give me that sinker down and away here. Get him to roll over on it. Just missed. Wow. That's a pretty good 0-2 pitch.
Pretty good eye to take that pitch. Good movement on it. Definitely tailed slightly out of the strike zone. A lot of times the movement will fool the hitter and he'll go ahead and swing at it, not anticipating that it's going to be out of the strike zone.
Now the 1-2. Check swing.
Pitch.
And the appeal down to third. And Jerry Meals says, nope, did not go. It's 2-2.
He's trying to do exactly what you said, Buzz. Throw the sinker away and get him to roll over and pull a ball to second base. He definitely held up. That pitch was probably almost in the exact same place the one before it was. Maybe an inch outside.
Could be why Avila's not swinging at that. He knows he can't do anything with it except roll over.
Yeah.
Breaking ball, and that's inside, and the count has gone full. So Tepesch got ahead of both Martinez and now Avila, and has run the count full on each of them. Avila hitting in the number 6 slot. He'll be followed by the shortstop, Johnny Peralta. Martinez with average at best speed at first. We'll see if Jim Leland lets him go, and Tepes will make a toss that way just to remind Martinez that he was thinking of it. Except for the top and bottom of the order, the Tigers not much in the base stealing department. There goes Martinez. The pitch is grounded. Nice play by Moreland at first. The only play he had was a step on the bag, but that saved a run probably if that ball gets by him. Well, Mitch Moreland again using the glove in Gold Glove caliber play down there at first.
Yeah, and generally for a first baseman, you talk about offense first, and Mitch's offense is obviously coming around, but he's always been pretty solid at first base, and he looks like he's getting better and better over there, making all the plays to his right, to his left, scooping the ball that you have to scoop to save the infielder's errors, covering pretty good ground, chasing the foul pop-up. Looking good defensively right now.
The one out here is Johnny Peralta. Takes inside, ball 1 from Nick Tepes. Peralta, again, having a solid year. 326 with 4 home runs. He has driven in 18. 387 on base percentage. So he has done a lot of good for the Tigers down there at the bottom part of the order. There's an off-speed delivery that catches the strike zone. It's 1-1. Peralta 1 for 4 in last night's ball game. Up there with Victor Martinez, the runner at second base, 1 out in the top of the second inning. Another good breaking ball and just off the outside edge. 2-1 to Peralta. Month of May, Peralta has been as hot as almost anyone. 3rd highest average in the American League at 405. And ball 3 is blown away. It looks like Tepes being a little bit careful, and you can understand why. You've got Peralta at 326. The next hitter, even though he's left-handed, Don Kelly, hitting just 212. Oh yeah, you don't really want to walk Peralta, number 7 hitter, but once you fall behind, you want to be pretty careful with coming in the strike zone. That's inside, ball 4. So a pair of walks in the inning, runners at first and second. Don Kelly coming to the plate.
Yeah, I think the other message that Mike Maddox might consider right here is, the old trust your stuff message where, he's throwing 92 miles an hour. The ball sinks. You can get ground balls. Sometimes you can give big league hitters a little too much credit. The Tigers score more runs than any team in the American League, so you have to give their offense credit. But at the same time, trust your stuff. Don't be too careful. And one of the things you don't want to do against a good hitting team is walk guys and put extra men on base. So they may be saying, look, your stuff is good, kid. Throw that sinker down around the knees, get your ground ball, and we'll turn 2 for you.
There's the Tigers offense coming into play tonight. First in average, first in runs per game, first in on-base percentage, second in runners in scoring position, average, and third in walks. So it is a very formidable lineup to face, and Nick Tepes right in the middle of it now. Don Kelly with runners at first and second goes after the first pitch, a little tardy with the swing, and fouls it straight back. Tom, I think that would have been a great message to have Mike Maddox stick out there, and I'm pretty sure that's part of what he said. And the other part probably was, okay, now what do you want to do? How do you want to go after this guy? And that's something that Mike always leaves with a pitcher, is a plan for the next hitter.
Sure.
Little roller down the third baseline. Beltre is going to have one play, and he gets the out at third. He could have stepped on the bag. He decided to plant a tag into Victor Martinez as he stepped on the bag.
I think trying to go along with what Beltre might have been thinking on that play, you can see him wait for the ball. He doesn't want to charge it because then he can't get back to third base. He's going to wait on the ball to get to him. He probably wanted to tag third, but wasn't exactly sure where the bag was, and knew he could tag the runner. So he's looking at the runner, not sure where the bag is. So he says, "The heck with it! I got to make sure I get it out. I'm going to tag him."
It's got almost no man's land over there. Here's Ramon Santiago, and he takes a breaking ball low for ball one. Santiago, the switch hitting infielder, did not start last night. Omar Infante was the second baseman.
Adrian's watching the ball, watching the runner, and hoping that he can find the bag. And his foot wasn't on the bag, and I don't think he was positive that he could find the bag before he got there.
Next pitch is low from Tepish, is 2-0.
And Nick's now all the way up to 37 pitches, 19 strikes and 18 balls. And that's not the strike ball ratio that he's accustomed to.
You got to be reasonably careful with Santiago. He's a pretty good hitter. He'll make some solid contact. 2-0 pitch. Moreland is going to overhand to Tepish, covering, and they get out of it. A couple of walks in the inning, but 3 more ground balls for Nick Tepish. 2 are left stranded after an inning and a half. Rangers nothing, Tigers nothing on TXA 21. McLemore. You can get to him at 469-209-2121. If you read your text in the postgame show tonight, you'll win a $50 sporting goods gift card from Metro PCS. Text again is 469-209-2121. Nelson Cruz leading off the Rangers' second scoreless ball game. It'll be Cruz, Moreland, and Soto to face Rick Porcello. Sinking fastball at the knees, and it's 0-2 to Nelly. Cruz, 11 home runs, 33 RBI. Both those marks the tops on the Ranger club. He is tied for the American League lead with those 11 home runs. Reached for that outside pitch and fouled it straight back.
A couple of birthdays to mention. Lewis Knight from Dallas is 90 years old today. Dolores Thorpe from, I'm probably going to pronounce this wrong, Cairns, Texas, 94 years old. Lewis, Dolores, never miss a game. We really appreciate that.
One ball and 2 strikes to Cruz. Porcello back to the plate. Hard hit up the middle, but that's right where Santiago is positioned. Porcello doing a somersault off the mound, and that ball got by him. Fortunately for him, and Santiago took care of it. That's one away.
Buzz, I'm trying to verify the pronunciation of Dolores Thorpe City.
Okay.
Not being a Texan, I'm not positive. Getting word it's Kearns, Texas.
Kearns, Texas. Okay.
But we're not positive on that. Dolores, the big thing is we know you're 94 years old, and we hope you have a very happy birthday. And in the meantime, I hope I pronounced the name of your town right. If I didn't, I know I will hear about it.
And we know she's a big Ranger fan.
And she's a big Ranger fan. And if I pronounced it wrong, I will correct it. My worst pronunciation, most embarrassing one of a town in Texas, Mexia.
Okay.
And this was about 15 years ago, and I unfortunately called it Mexia.
Mexia. Yeah.
And I heard about that before the words got out of my mouth. And people said, "You're not from Texas." I said, "Well, what gave you your first clue? Can't you tell by the way I talk?" Trying to be as Texan as I can.
Breaking ball comes into Mitch Moreland, and it's no balls and 2 strikes. Well, I don't think you're the first person that's ever made that mistake.
Probably not, but
and I doubt
not many of them did it on TV, though. That's
well,
the thing.
that's quite possible.
The other one I had was I called it Palestine instead of Palestine.
Yeah.
There's been a few more along the way. Fortunately, there's usually a bunch of people in our truck from Texas that can quickly correct that.
A ball and 2 strikes to count to Mitch. Well, he has done some heavy lifting in the last 13 ball games. He had 6 home runs, 11 RBI in those 13 games, and hitting .380. Porcello back to the plate with the 1-2. And we'll try it again. Mitch with 9 home runs, 21 driven in. On base percentage now approaching .350. Again, the 1-2 pitch. Thought about it, laid off the breaking ball down and in. The count is even at 2-2.
You know, last night, Buzz, we had a lot of fun talking about our friends that work with us down in the truck.
Yeah.
I thought the best part about last night, and I just got word of this, Eric Josephson, our producer, has a Twitter account where he monitors other people on Twitter. Last night, he got a follower. He has 1 Twitter follower now.
Already.
And I didn't get the name of that Twitter follower, but we just want to thank you. You've made Eric Josephson feel like the most important person in Texas.
And how long has he had that Twitter account, do you think?
He's had the Twitter account for quite a while, but until we brought the name out there, he had not had a Twitter follower.
Well,
so anybody that's looking to follow someone on Twitter, Eric Josephson would be a great person to follow.
Yeah, he could really use the help too, folks. If I were you, Tom, I don't think I'd turn my back during breaks. You might get something stuck in it from the truck. Is that possible? If it's possible, you would.
It's probably possible. We have to remember they can make us look worse than we really are.
2-2 to Moreland. Good rip that time, and he fouled it straight back. A pretty good set to here between Mitch Moreland and Rick Porcello with 1 out in the 2nd inning. Rangers doing a pretty good job of getting the pitch count up.
Twitter total, it's up to 2. It's doubled in one night.
Doubled it in 24 hours. That's pretty good. And Mitch rolls 1 out to second base. Santiago. Sidearms on the fielder. That is out number 2.
You know, we talked about Rick Porcello when the game started. He had a 6.68 ERA. But the fact that in his last 3 games he pitched much better than that. And even though it's only 6 hitters into this game, he has the stuff tonight of someone that has an ERA much better than 6.68. It went from 2 to 19 in a matter of minutes.
It's a rush. You better get on.
He's
there,
going to
folks.
have to start posting now instead of monitoring.
Fastball for a strike to Giovanni Soto. Soto with the home run last night against Justin Verlander. They broke that 3rd inning open for the Rangers.
Yeah, he had some good swings last night. He had the home run, and then he had 2 balls that he probably hit 375 feet to center field that he just got underneath a little bit. And he had a bunch of good swings in last night's game.
1-1 pitch to Soto. 2-1. Giovanni at 176 with the batting average. Porcello back to the plate. A rip and a miss. Boy, that sinker really working its way down and in toward the right-handed hitting Giovanni Soto.
Look at the movement on that sinker. That's one of those sinkers we talk about that looks like a left-handed slider.
Got him on the fist, the same pitch. Still 2-2. Giovanni with a start tonight now has started 9 of the last 11 ball games for the Rangers. He's filling in for the injured A.J. Pierzynski, who by all accounts is doing much better. That's a little bit low and outside. It's a full count to Giovanni Soto.
Now both guys have good stuff tonight, but after 2 innings both guys are going to be right around 40 pitches, so they've had to throw a lot of pitches.
Payoff pitch and a chopper foul.
Yeah, there've been a lot of foul balls, and I think you tend to pound a lot of sinkers into the ground. Yeah, just like Giovanni did right there. So there's only, for the Rangers, there's only been 1 base runner. This is the 7th batter he's faced, and this will be his 42nd pitch, and 33 of them have been strikes.
Got him swinging. Pulled the string and had Giovanni out in front. Second strikeout of the evening as Porcello sends the Rangers down in order. We're going to the 3rd inning at Rangers Ballpark in Arlington. Scoreless on TXA 21. To Rangers Ballpark. Enter Dr. Pepper as a coupon code at TexasRangers.com, or you can bring any Dr. Pepper can to Rangers Ballpark in Arlington for $5 off select tickets for non-premier games in May and June. A lot of great ways to watch your Rangers play, and I'm glad to have you with us tonight on this Friday night. First pitch of the top of the 3rd inning to the top of the Tiger order. Andy Dirks takes inside for ball 1. Dirks, a ground ball to second in the 1st inning. Off speed, and that pitch just missed the inside corner. It is 2-0.
And Nick now 40 pitches, 20 strikes, 20 balls.
There's a belt high strike. It's 2-1. You know, Nick walked a couple in that 2nd inning. This Tigers offense, we showed you the on-base percentage as a team that they have. It tells you they're all not only good hitters, they also eyeball a lot of pitches. And Dirks gets one out with a plate that he just shoots into center field for a leadoff base hit. 2nd straight inning that the Tigers have had their leadoff man aboard against Tepesh.
Oh, that one caught pretty much the middle of the plate. Didn't quite get it where he wanted to, but you know, he gets ahead, gets behind the leadoff hitter 2-0, and you need to throw a strike. You've got the big guys coming up, and you don't want the leadoff guy to get on base. Make him hit the ball, he gets a base hit. Hey, that's the way it goes. Guys can get base hits, just don't want to walk them.
Now here's Torrey Hunter, who also grounded out to second base in the 1st. Dirks with pretty good speed now at first base. And Hunter chops one foul at home plate. It is 0-1. Torrey Hunter, one of the big offseason acquisitions as a free agent for the Tigers. Last night, Hunter took an 0 for 3. And right now, he's mired in an 0 for 10. Tepish will chase Dirks back with a toss to first. Four strikeouts in those 10 at-bats for Torrey Hunter. Tepish okays the sign. And he's going to throw to first again to drive Dirks back. Nick, the 24-year-old from Blue Springs, Missouri. High set, and the pitch to Hunter is fouled back. Got away with an off-speed pitch that hung up there. 0-2 now to Hunter. Torrey out checking with third base coach Tom Brookins to see if Jim Leland might have something on. With 2 strikes, though, you would figure it would not be anything involving Hunter. Broken bat ground ball. The only play Beltre has is to first. Hunter is out. Into second is Andy Dirks. Almost an identical situation to what occurred in the second inning. Leadoff man gets aboard. The next hitter grounds into an out at first with the initial base runner getting into second in the scoring position.
Yeah, that was a good pitch by Nick. He got it in on the fist and jammed Hunter. Jammed him so much that all they could do was get one out at first base. A little harder, he might have a chance for a double play.
Now here's the guy that you really want to be careful with runners in scoring position, because Cabrera, well, this is where he makes his money. The last several years, he has been the best in the major leagues with runners in scoring position. And we go back this year, just since the 18th of April, Ford leaderboard will show you that Cabrera trailing Nelly Cruz by 4 RBI.
That's a lot of RBIs. 28 in a month.
Yep.
Yeah, Cabrera, he doesn't try to hit the ball out of the ballpark. He does a lot. He's trying to hit a line drive to center field. He uses the whole field, boy. Last night, Mitch took a base hit away from him. He smoked a hard ground ball to first base. Mitch dove and made a play on it. Hit a shot that Beltre deflected to shortstop, and they nipped him at first base. There's a couple of hits that were taken away from him last night.
Back to the plate. Hard hit ball, and it's by Garcia into center. Here comes the throw. In toward the plate. The slide. He's out. Leonis Martin did it again from center field, nailing Andy Dirks at the plate with a strike to Soto.
I'll tell you right now, there's not an outfielder in baseball that can make better throws than he's made this year. That's the second time he's thrown a decent runner out at the plate from deep center field with a perfect throw. The thing that helped him was how hard Cabrera hit that ball, and that's no contest at the plate. Perfect throw, looked like a pitch from the pitcher, and Soto just buries the runner before he could ever get to home plate. What a throw.
Yeah, Dirks was not getting to home plate.
Wow.
That is something.
He threw out Gene Segura in Milwaukee on a very similar play, but he doesn't even smell home plate. Wow.
That would be the definition of blocking the plate. And Prince Fielder chops one foul. It's 0-1 now to the Tiger first baseman.
Generally, when a guy's thrown out from the outfield, especially in center field, it's a ball that the center fielder has had a little time to charge, and he's closer to home plate when he throws it. That ball was hit so hard. The benefit was he got it quickly because it got to him so quickly. The negative part was he couldn't charge it because it got to him so quickly. He was deep when he had to throw it. He threw the ball all the way in the air. Perfect strike. Heck, the pitchers don't throw him perfect strikes from 60 feet away.
Yeah.
He was 260 feet away,
exactly
300
right.
feet away. You just can't throw better than that kid can throw.
So 2 outs with Cabrera at first. And the pitch way inside the Prince fielder.
You see how quickly it gets to him and where he is when he catches it. Gets his feet in position to throw quickly. And there's the throw. That was such a good throw. Cabrera couldn't even take second base on it. Didn't try to anyway. You talk about a rope. That ball, I'm glad Leori chose to get out of the way of that one. That would have embedded itself in his chest.
Hard hit, but pulled foul. And the count is 2-2. Yeah, if that ball had gone into Leori's glove, it would have been because the ball went there. He didn't have time to react to it.
He did what any big league player would do on that ball. Get out of the way and get your glove in position and hope that the ball goes in. That's when you don't really catch that ball. The ball catches your glove.
The 2-2 pitch. Into the shift. Garcia has to go off his glove into right field. Cruz up with it. Going around to third is Cabrera. I'm pretty sure that's going to be an error, as looked like Leori Garcia got messed up with the back lip of the infield. He was in shallow right field, and that last hop kind of took an unexpected one on him and got by him.
I think that's one of the negative parts of playing deep. It makes it difficult to field the ball out there because you know you don't have the same amount of time. It's going to take a different kind of hop. It goes from the dirt to the grass. And even though you're playing deep against a runner that doesn't run well, when you're way out there, by the time you can get it, it's going to be a close play at first base. So you don't have the same amount of time that you would to field a ball at second base. And it's an error all the way, but still, it's not quite as easy to make a play on a ground ball out there as it is in the dirt. The hope is you can take one away by being that deep.
Well, Mike Maddox out to give Nick Tepesch a little bit of a breather. The error charged to Leori Garcia. It's the 18th Ranger error of the year. They entered play tonight 4th in the American League for best fielding.
Well, you let one on base there, but you can't complain after you nailed one at the plate on the batter before it. Tough part is you get a really good hitter fielder. Hopefully to make the last out of an inning and get out of the jam. This should work.
And Garcia has that one right at the lip of the outfield grass. And that'll do it. No runs, 2 hits, an error, and 2 men are left. And Leonis Martin, one more look as we head on to the bottom half of inning number 3. We are still scoreless because of that throw. Is sponsored by SportsCityToyota.com. Well, David Murphy leading off the bottom of the third inning, a scoreless ball game. And Murph takes a sinking fastball for strike one.
You look at the line so far for Porcello. Coming into this inning, he had thrown 42 pitches, 34 strikes, and faced 7 hitters. One of them was Garcia, who hit the first pitch. So to the other 6 guys, he averaged 7 pitches a batter, and he was throwing all strikes.
Yeah.
That's how many balls they must have fouled off. I didn't even think of it while it was going on, but that can be the only reason, right?
Yeah.
The foul balls.
Right.
He's thrown 35 strikes, and this is the 8th hitter he's faced, and one hitter had a 1-pitch at bat.
Porcello's 1-1 pitch. His chop foul.
Beating that thing into the
They
ground. And it's, you know, it's not doing anything good as far as scoring runs go, but it's getting his pitch count up there to a that's 46 pitches coming up, and only had 1 base runner. It's no outs in the third inning.
The over-the-top windup, the 1-2 pitch to Murphy. Got him swinging. Good changeup. That is the third strikeout for Rick Porcello. 1 out, Leonis Martin now.
Well, Porcello's a guy that's never been a strikeout pitcher. He'd have maybe 160 innings and strike out 110 batters. But now in his last 3 starts plus this start, he's pitched about 22 innings and struck out 21 or 22 batters, a strikeout per inning.
Martin, a .268 hitter. Couple of home runs, 5 driven in. Shows bunt and the ball way inside, so he takes it. That had Miguel Cabrera really charging down the line from third.
It's hard to calculate the impact of throwing a runner out like that, because if you don't throw the runner out, obviously 1 run scores, but it's 1 less out. Who knows what happens the rest of the inning?
Right.
You know, it has the possibility of turning into a big inning. That's just a huge momentum buster right there when you make that play. Not to mention the fact that everybody in the stadium, certainly in the Tiger dugout, was chalking up that as a run.
Right. Exactly.
They had no idea that was going to turn into an out.
Now the 1-1 pitch on the way. 2 balls and a strike. Well, making an impact, playing part-time in the early part of the season. Leonis Martin has made as big an impact as you can probably imagine. You don't think about a center fielder throwing guys out very often. Hits this one well to right center field. That's going to get down and plug the gap all the way to the wall. Leonis turning on the Jets. He's around second. Here comes the throw into third, the slide. He is safe at third.
Whoa, what a
under the tag of Cabrera, and I don't know how he got under it.
What a relay throw. I guess it was Santiago that made that relay throw. When he turned second, I thought he was going in standing up. The throw from Kelly to Santiago to Cabrera was executed perfectly. Take a look at it. Strong first throw, strong second throw, and that is as close as you can get. Let's see. Boy, just safe. Just safe.
Wow.
Great camera shot.
Excellent camera work.
That was the strike. That was the changeup that was strike 3 to David Murphy, turned into a triple for Leonis Martin.
No, with Elvis at the plate now, Martin at third, 1 out. The infield for the Tigers comes all the way in. And the first pitch is low for ball 1. Leonis Martin about halfway to second. Watch this. Whoop, there goes the next gear.
And that's how you cut the angle at second base too. He never broke stride when he touched second base. That's why he was safe.
Elvis trying to put the Rangers ahead. And he takes ball 2. Well, Elvis trying to make Porcello get the ball up. He was just flat taking that last one.
Yeah, he was. He was taking all the way.
Porcello in a jam now. The Rangers, for the first time, have a runner at third base. They had Lance Berkman at second in the first inning, but stranded him there. 2 balls, no strikes. The count to Elvis Andrus. Inside, it's 3-1. Oh, excuse me, 3-0. So Elvis trying to get aboard here, some fashion. He'll be followed by Leury Garcia. And there is a strike at the knees. Now, if you're Elvis in this situation and runner at third, do you make him throw another strike?
You know, I don't think so. You got a veteran hitter up there. You got a rookie coming up next. I think if you're Elvis, you try to hit the ball to right field. Okay. And if you get your pitch, I think you go for it.
3-1. He goes the other way. A little looping line drive picked off by Prince Fielder. So that is going to be the second out. Elvis really got jammed, and I assume that's not the kind of pitch you're looking for.
That's pretty much what we said. Get a pitch and hit it to right field, but it looks like this pitch just comes way in on his fist, and that would have been ball 4, and that was not a good pitch to hit or to even swing at. 3-1 in that situation. I think the movement of the pitch and probably anticipating that Porcello doesn't walk many batters and that you were going to get a better pitch to hit, committed to the swing a little bit before you recognize where the pitch was going to be.
First pitch to Leury Garcia, way inside for ball 1. So Garcia lined out to left field on the first pitch he saw back in the first inning. With 2 outs, infield back at normal depth. Porcello to the plate. Inside, and Avila having to go down to both knees to keep that pitch from going to the backstop. And keep in mind what we've seen from the backstop here as you get a look at that last pitch. What we've seen from the backstop is uneven bounces off there.
You have no idea what's going to happen.
Some come straight back. Last time one came back as hard as it went in, right back to home plate. Saw one last homestand that bounced almost 3/4 of the way to first base at an angle.
But all you can do is take a couple of quick steps, anticipate that you're going to score, and be ready to put on the brakes if the ball caroms back toward home plate.
2-0 pitch, and that settles in for a strike. It's 2-1.
I think if you were in the same situation, Buzz, 3-1, and Berkman was the next hitter, you might go up there and take another pitch, hoping to get Berkman a shot, more of the guy that's getting paid to knock in the runs.
Next pitch fouled away to the left, and the count is now even to Leury Garcia. 2 balls and 2 strikes.
But I think generally with a man on third and less than 2 outs, you have a pretty good feeling that Elvis is going to be able to accomplish what you want to accomplish in that situation.
Martin at third base, got there with his third double, or third triple of the year, I should say. Leury Garcia trying to score it. And that's chopped foul. Pretty good changeup from Porcello. Leury back in the box. 2 balls, 2 strikes, 2 outs. Rick Porcello trying to work around a 1-out triple by Leonys Martin. Call strike 3. Garcia knew it. Backdoor hook. And Porcello does indeed work around that triple. No runs to hit, 1 man left. We're going to the 4th inning. Tigers nothing, Rangers nothing on TXA 21. welcome in Joel Thomas. Joel?
Hey, thanks, Buzz. Hey, I want to introduce you to Terry Hustis. Terry battled back for 2 years against breast cancer, and now she is the honorary Texas Rangers Batgirl. I guess one of your friends entered you for that, right?
Yes, sir.
And what have you been doing today?
I have been hanging out with the Rangers on watching bat practice. I've been just hanging out at this awesome ballpark. It's really been a cool day.
Are you surprised when people call you an inspiration?
Oh, very surprised. I don't know what an inspiration I am, but it's just been really, breast cancer is a really hard thing for anybody to go through.
Well, she battled back, and now she's the honorary Batgirl, enjoying some baseball right here on the 7th row. Congratulations, Terry. And
thank you so much.
You're welcome very much. And I did check tag, Huestis. It is Hustis, right?
Yes.
All right, I'm just checking. Tag has problems with it.
Thank you, Joel.
Thanks, Terry.
Nothing more annoying than a person like that behind him trying to have a serious interview and jumping up and down, waving their hands.
Pitch inside to Alex Avila. It's 2 balls and a strike. Avila leading off the 4th inning for the Tigers. Alex grounded out to first. A nice diving stop by Mitch Moreland in the 2nd inning. Scoreless ball game. A couple of opportunities have gone by the wayside for each ball club. Leonis Martin shut down one himself by a throw to home plate last inning to get Andy Dirks, and then Leonis had a triple with 1 out. The Rangers couldn't get him home. That'll run the count full now to Avila, who's trying to get aboard to be the 3rd consecutive leadoff man to get aboard against Tepish. Avila will be followed by Johnny Peralta, the shortstop.
No wind tonight. Flags are barely rippling up there. Unusual for our ballpark.
Payoff pitch. Chop foul. I have a feeling in about 3 weeks or so, we're not going to see flags do that.
No, we're going to need paperweights up in the booth.
Yep. Yeah, after all the cold weather, we started to get some normal May humidity. Temperatures back up in the upper 80s and low 90s around here. Again, the 3-2 to Avila. And another foul ball.
The Tigers are doing almost the same thing to Nick, fouling off a lot of balls, working his pitch count up there. Nick was at 20 balls and 20 strikes, so he's thrown 15 strikes and 6 balls since that point in time. Not many quick outs in this game.
And up and in, ball 4. Well, Avila walks. And it'll bring up Johnny Peralta. Well, the AT&T trivia question for tonight. We'll bring that along to you here in just a second. Lee Smith holds the Major League record for most saves without a blown save against one opponent. He had 37 against Montreal. Who has the 2nd most? Give you a little while to think about that and come back with the answer in about a half inning. Here's Peralta, who walked his first time, and Nick Tepish having a little trouble command-wise now. He has kind of steadily lost the feel for the strike zone the last couple of innings.
Yeah, the first inning he was very sharp. 4 ground balls in the first inning. And he's thrown a lot of pitches since that first inning.
1-0 pitch to Peralta. Topper foul. 1-1. A lot
of fans in the stands tonight trying to make up for no breeze. Fans with fans. There's the fans with fans.
The fans fan. Moving. Tepish a check at first. The 1-1 pitch. Slow breaking ball. And that bends in for a strike. It's 1-2.
Guy's not going that good. He should be doing the fanning.
He's busy sipping on that drink. Way inside. 2-2. Nick kind of struggling, fighting himself a little bit.
Yeah, you can tell. A little bit of a look of frustration on his face after that pitch. He had pinpoint command in Houston through 84 pitches in 6 innings.
Breaking ball hit high in the air. That's medium deep center field. Easy play for Leonis Martin. That is out number 1, and Peralta just missed hitting that ball a long way. Now that's out number 1, and now Don Kelly coming up.
You can tell he smashed his bat on the ground, got the hanging curveball, and popped it up. If you never popped up a hanging curveball and always hit it out of the ballpark, hitters would hit like 100 home runs every year. Just not that easy to hit a home run.
Yeah, and you
no matter what.
Go ahead.
No matter what kind of pitch you get.
Hitters didn't pop a few of those up. You couldn't get anybody to pitch. First pitch to Kelly, low and inside with a fastball for ball 1. Don grounded into a fielder's choice his first time to the plate. That was a ground ball that he got fisted on. Hit it right down to Adrian Beltre at third. Avila, the runner at first. 1 out here in the 4th. Slowly hit to second. Garcia to Andrews. That's the only play they'll have. They get the force at second. Avila is erased. Don Kelly takes his place at first. He's there with 2 outs now for Ramon Santiago.
Second baseman Ramon Santiago.
Just been a couple of ground balls, potential double plays, but they just haven't been hit hard enough. Got the lead runner anyway.
Santiago, a ground ball to first that ended the 2nd inning for Detroit. 161 the average for the switch hitting infielder as Tepesh will give a little calling card to Don Kelly at first base. Rafael Belliard, the first base coach over there, to say something to Kelly. Mitch Moreland holding the inside of the bag against the runner at first. And another throw over there. Just a little bit better move. And Kelly stepping that lead off. And the first pitch is a knee-high strike to Santiago. Before the Tigers went out and got Omar Infante, Santiago was playing a lot of infield, spelling Peralta at shortstop and taking over when he was on the disabled list. Played a lot of second base. And it hurt the Tigers as far as their depth, because Santiago has the ability to play all the infield positions. And it took away a valuable tool for Jim Leland. They went and got Infante, and Infante pretty much taken over the everyday second base job, and that's freed Santiago up to be a super utility player. Rounds this one out to short. Elvis underhands to Garcia at the bag, and that will do it. For the leadoff walk, no damage to Nick Tepesh. 1 more left for the Tigers. They've stranded 6. On we go to the bottom, inning number 4. We are scoreless in Arlington. TNT trivia question for tonight. Remember the question we had for you, Lee Smith, the all-time record, most saves without a blown save to one opponent. He had 37 against Montreal. Joe Nathan has 35 saves against Detroit with no blown saves.
Wow.
He is sneaking up on that all-time record that's currently held by Lee Smith.
I hope he gets to go for number 36 tonight.
I do too. Lance Berkman leading things off and takes ball one a little bit low from Rick Porcello. Berkman, a base hit to center field with 2 outs in the first inning. Porcello with his 63rd pitch of the night. And he fires a strike to the outside corner to even the count. Berkman saying something to Ron Kulfa behind the plate about probably the height of that pitch. Low and in, 2-1. Hitters get upset, Tom, if there's a good sinker baller like Porcello on the mound and the umpire starts calling a low strike for a called strike.
Well, yeah, I think you say to yourself, if he's got the good sinker and it's getting called and you don't think it's a strike and it's called consistently, I'm in for a long night. So yeah, probably do get a little upset. But you know what you have to do is you just don't get discouraged, because I don't care who the sinker ball pitcher is. Eventually, you're going to get one up, and you just have to say to yourself, I've got to take advantage of it. Yeah. I can't foul it off. That pitch to Lance right there was up a little bit. He had a great swing at it, fouled it off, and you go, not getting much up. Missed my chance when I did.
Yeah, that might have been the one for this at bat. Now the 2-2, laid off the breaking ball. The count has gone full, so Berkman trying to get aboard. Rangers have not had their leadoff man aboard in any inning tonight. Berkman trying to do that in front of the cleanup man. That's Adrian Beltre. Porcello to the line. The payoff pitch on the way. Line to left field, a base hit. Well, a good piece of hitting right there by Berkman.
Sure was. Saw everything he had, and he did get one up. It was a changeup, and instead of being out in front of it, he waits on it, lines it into left field. Not a strike, but it was up. Good concentration. 2 line drives for Lance tonight. 2 for 2.
Yeah, one to center, one to left. He is aboard. First time that the Rangers have gotten that first hitter on. Here's Beltre, who swung and missed a 3rd strike in the first inning. One of the 4 strikeouts that Porcello has registered here this evening. Hard hit ball, the diving stop by Cabrera. He throws from the seat of his pants, not in time.
Boy, he almost made a great play. A lot of people wondered if Cabrera could move from first base to third base. He's a big, strong guy. And he came up as a third baseman. And against the Rangers, he's made all the plays over there. He's got good agility, just like Fielder does for a big guy. Knocks that ball down. I didn't think he was going to throw it.
There's a highlight of him circulating that he made a play like that going into the hole and threw from on his back. Really? He was laying down prone, he threw and got him. So that didn't really surprise me, having just seen that play. And Beltre said, hey, what are you trying to make it that close for? So 2 on, nobody out, and Nelson Cruz takes a strike. It's 0-1. So back-to-back hits open up the Ranger 4th inning.
I remember Jim Leland saying, I don't have any concern about Miguel moving to third base. I know he can play over there. Done a nice job.
He sure is right.
Jim Leland knows his players.
Yep. Cruz, a ground ball to second. His first time at the plate. He has Berkman at second, Beltre at first. Could be a double play ground ball to Cabrera. To second for 1. The return in plenty of time. On to third goes Berkman. He's there with 2 outs now on the huge double play ground ball off the bat of Nelson Cruz.
Well, that's one of the advantages of being a sinker ball pitcher. When you get in that situation, you always know if you run the ball in on a hitter, make it sink, you got a chance to get a weak ground ball and get that double play. That's what they did. About as routine as you can get.
Now, if you're going to have one guy right now on the Ranger ball club that you were asked to get a 2-out base hit to score a run, it would be the man at the plate, Mitch Moreland.
That's for sure.
He is swinging as hot a bat as a Ranger has this entire year. Mitch tonight 0 for 1, a ground ball to second base in the second inning. He's got Berkman at third with 2 outs. Infield in a modified shift, that being Peralta, the shortstop, not all the way behind the bag, but he's very, very deep and within a couple of steps of being right behind second base. First pitch to Mitch, a breaking ball is low for ball 1. I would be extremely surprised if he saw a hittable strike in this at bat.
If he gets a good pitch to hit, Porcello made a bad mistake.
Yeah. And that's not taking anything away from Giovanni Soto, the on-deck hitter. No. He's a right-hander, and Mitch Moreland's an extremely hot left-hander.
Yep, that's just the reality of the current situation.
1-0 pitch. And that is a knee-high strike. 1 ball and 1 strike to Moreland.
Yeah, he won't get a good pitch to hit. Doesn't mean he won't get a strike.
Right.
Just means he won't get a good pitch to hit.
Alex Avila flashing the signs out, and Porcello says yes to the second one. And another tailing fastball comes back to gets the inside corner. It's 1-2.
Good pitch. That was a ball until it started moving back toward the plate.
I think the book got around that Mitch Moreland had been taking pitches the other way pretty well. 1-2, way outside and high. Avila had to come up out of that crouch to snag that errant offering from Rick Porcello.
Oh, it might have hit up on the screen. Wouldn't have been a problem bouncing back.
That would have deadened it, wouldn't it?
Yeah, it would have deadened it.
2 balls and 2 strikes. Porcello working from the stretch with 2 outs. Chopper first base way, fielder underhands to Porcello, covering just in time. Moreland is out, and so are the Rangers. No runs, 2 hits, and 1 left. We're going to the 5th inning. Rangers nothing, Tigers nothing. On TXA 21. By Standard Insurance. Call 1-800-929-2424. A nice crowd on hand here tonight this Fireworks Friday night at Rangers Ballpark. Comfortable temperatures. A bit muggy, but temperatures in the mid-80s. Not much of a breeze. What breeze there is drifting in from center field. Top of the 5th inning, and it will be the top of the Tiger order to face Nick Tepesch. Tepesch starting his 3rd time through the lineup. And the first pitch to Andy Dirks is a strike. Dirks 1 for 2, singled to center field his last time up. And in the biggest play of the game thus far, he was thrown out at home plate, trying to score from second by Leonis Martin. Miguel Cabrera had pounded one on the ground through the middle of the diamond, and Leonis got to it and fired a strike to home plate to get Dirks. Little looper out towards shallow center. That's going to fall for a base hit. Well, Dirks on for the second time to start off an inning. Here in the fifth, he gets aboard for Torrey Hunter. Not a bad pitch by Nick Tepish, but
he jammed him.
Not much you can do about where it gets put into play. So the hits in this game now even at 4 apiece. Torrey Hunter to the plate. 0 for 2 with a couple of ground outs. Last time up, he hit in this same situation with Dirks at first and nobody out, and hit a slow roller to third. That the only play that Adrian Beltre had was all in the first. Beltre barking some instructions out to Elvis and to Leori Garcia over at second. And Tepish will go first base way again. Dirks, in case you're wondering, 4 stolen bases. He is perfect 4 out of 4. Tigers 16 stolen bases in 18 attempts. Their biggest thievery possibility is on the disabled list. Austin Jackson has 5 stolen bases, but he is on the DL, and Rangers from that respect caught a break because Austin Jackson, their center fielder, is a real good one, and their leadoff man too. 0-1 the count to Hunter. Tepish doing a good job of making sure Dirks doesn't get a walking lead, nor is able to read him very well.
Tigers have only stolen 16 bases, but they've only been thrown out twice.
The ground ball pulled foul right off the screen in front of the Tigers dugout. It's 0-2. Hunter back in the box, taps the outside part of the plate with the business into that bat. He is ready, and so is Tepish. Rolling in, off-speed pitch missing. It's 1 ball and 2 strikes. Hunter checking down with third base coach Tom Brookings. Andy Dirks, the runner at first, with nobody out. A little bit better lead this time, and that will draw a throw from Nick Tepish. Hunter with the average down to .314 as he faces Tepish here in the 5th inning. Just off the outer edge, it's 2 balls and 2 strikes. Torrey Hunter came into this game tied for 8th in the American League with his 50 base hits. Well, he got fisted there. Slow roller, tough play. Off balance throw by Andrus in time to get him. And again, same kind of ground ball, but not hard enough to try and get the double play. Here's the TXU Energy replay tonight. Last time up, well, in Milwaukee, that was Leonys Martin throwing out Gene Segura. And tonight, a hot shot off the bat of Cabrera. Here comes Martin again. Right on the money. Dirks is out from here to Grand Prairie. TXU Energy, the right things right now. Leonys Martin, quite a weapon for the Rangers, patrolling center field out there and throwing out people right and left.
Well, the way that he's hit missiles toward the infielders in this series, if you're an infielder, you got to be on your toes, boy. He's hit 2 at Beltre, and that last one that he hit at Leori Garcia was the hardest hit one of all of them.
Yeah.
Guy's a great hitter, boy. Best hitter in baseball.
Yep. 0-1 the count. Tepish back to the plate. That ball's hammered down the left field line. It's going to be a fair ball and off the wall. That will score Dirks. Going into second with the throw not offline is Miguel Cabrera, and the Tigers take a 1-0 lead. Miguel Cabrera driving in his 42nd run of the year with that double.
Yeah, basically the way he's swinging the bat, if you make a pitch that he can hit, you made a mistake. Hanging breaking ball.
Yep.
The only thing about that is at least it stayed in the ballpark.
So a run on 5 hits now as the Tigers take that lead. Here is Prince Fielder. The first pitch inside and hitting. Just ticked off that front arm, and Fielder will walk down to first. As Tepish puts runners at first and second now for Victor Martinez.
Well, if you have to trade off having Fielder at first base and Martinez hitting is a favorable trade. You have a potential double play right here now. That ball was in, but it wasn't that tough to get out of the way of that pitch if you really had to get out of the way of it.
Mike Maddox with his 3rd visit to the mound tonight. Prince Fielder talking with first base coach over there, Rafael Belliard. Well, Mike has finished talking to Nick Tepish and Giovanni Soto. He heads back to the dugout. And the battery ready to go back to work. Victor Martinez tonight has grounded out and walked. Giovanni Soto giving the defensive signs to the folks so they know what's going to go on. If there happens to be a double steal or any of the other myriad possibilities. Martinez, who missed the entire 2012 season, recuperating from left knee surgery, goes after the first pitch and fouls it off to the left. And again, Nick Tepish getting one up in the zone and getting away with it to Martinez. Cabrera at second, Fielder at first, 1 out. A run across here in the Tiger 5th. One ball and 1 strike. Tepish got ready to throw his 85th pitch of the night. 50 strikes, 34 balls in the first 84. Right-handers ready, a check of second. Low and inside. That moves the count to 2-1. Tepish kind of stalking around the mound like he's trying to figure something out between pitches, and I think he's gone to about plan E or F by now.
Yeah, he's just not quite spotting the ball where he wants to right now. A little frustrating for him.
Yep. The 2-1. Doing the changeup, missed away. It's 3 balls and a strike. Andy Hawkins in the bullpen phone ring. He's going to get somebody up and throwing. Tepish sets. And a ground ball wide of first into right field, a base hit. Stop sign put up at third for Cabrera as Cruz gets to the ball quickly. And a base hit that loads the bases now with 1 out. And Alex Avila is coming to the plate. Joseph Ortiz, the left-hander, up and loosening in a hurry. So 3 hits and a hit batter have produced a run and threatened more here with only 1 out and the bases full. Avila 0 for 1 officially. Rounded out and walked his last time up. But Tepish, with the bases full, will work from the stretch. Right-hander has the sign he wants for the first pitch to Avila. And he drops the breaking ball in for strike one.
You know, Avila in 2011 made the All-Star team, hit .295, 19 home runs, drove in 82 runs. Last year he dropped down to .240. Home runs were down, RBIs are down. This year, off to a slow start, hitting .189.
Way inside, 1 ball, 1 strike. The inning started with an Andy Dirks looping single to center. Torrey Hunter grounded out, but then Miguel Cabrera drove a vicious line drive off the wall in left field for a double. That produced the run. Prince Fielder was hit by a pitch. Victor Martinez single. And ball 2 is low to Avila. It's 2-1. Series of signs from Giovanni Soto. Tepish picks out what he wants. A rip and a foul tip into Soto's glove. It's 2-2. Nick giving that gun a pretty good workout. Big pitch for him here. To center field. Going back is Martin. He has it under control. Makes the catch. Tagging at third. Coming in to score, Miguel Cabrera. And Alex Avila with a sacrifice fly makes it a 2-0 Detroit lead. Well, Avila drives in his 10th run of the year. Cabrera scores 2 runs in the inning. 2 outs. Runners still at first and second. And Johnny Peralta coming to the plate. Peralta, you see, walked in the second. Last time up, he flied out to center field. Fielder the lead from second. Martinez away from first. And the first pitch drops into the outside corner for strike one. Peralta currently hitting at .324. One and one.
You know, if you can keep them from scoring another run right here, at least you've avoided the really big inning. That's what the Tigers couldn't do last night. The Rangers put up a 7-run inning. The Tigers in their third inning got a couple of sacrifice flies, but didn't get the big hit to kind of put the knockout punch on Yu Darvish early in the game. And so if you can get out of this with only 2 runs scoring, Rangers are, well, they're pounding the ball. They're right in the middle of this game. Just don't want to have it become a big inning.
Right. 1 ball and 2 strikes as Tepish gets the foul ball. And Nick about ready to throw his 96th pitch of the night. And the fans here trying to start some support for Nick Tepish. The 1-2. Got him swinging. Good breaking ball, and he gets the strikeout. The Tigers come up with 2 runs. They had 3 hits in strand 2. Bottom of the 5th coming up. Tigers 2, Rangers nothing on TXA 21. Is sponsored by your Texas Ford dealers. Visit your Texas Ford dealer and drive the best-selling trucks for 36 straight years. Ford is the best in Texas. Giovanni Soto leading things off, bottom third of the Ranger order to face Rick Porcello, who now has a 2-0 lead with which to work. And Porcello pours in strike one. Soto struck out to end the Rangers' second inning. The Tigers bunch together 3 hits and a hit batter and score a couple times. Pitch Ben Soto back, 1 ball and 1 strike. Rangers trying to answer here in their half of the fifth. Porcello back to the plate. Gets the inside corner. That off-speed pitch just nipping at that pitch about belt high. Giovanni, a 173 hitter as he faces Porcello leading off the Ranger fifth. That's off the plate inside. A tailing fastball to make it 2-2. That ball's hammered to left field. If it's fair, it is gone. Goodbye. Second night in a row, Giovanni Soto goes yard. It's a 2-1 Tiger lead.
Oh, that's getting one back in a hurry. One swing of the bat cuts that deficit in half. And Giovanni's swinging it, boy. He had 3 good at-bats last night. And a good at-bat right there. Second home run in 2 nights. Hit hard to left field.
Giovanni turned around that 2-2 pitch.
Well, that's the one you have to turn around. It was the sinker that didn't get down where he wanted it to. But not a terrible pitch. It's on the inside part of the plate. But he didn't get jammed. He used his hands nicely on that one. Got the good part of the bat on it. Just barely kept it fair down the line.
0-1 pitch to David Murphy. Tapper over the mound. Charging is Peralta. Murphy retired for the first out here in the 5th inning. 370 feet the tail of the tape on Giovanni Soto's drive. Now Leonis Martin will step in. Martin plugged the right center field alley. His first time, a 1-out triple and was stranded at third. And his presence makes Miguel Cabrera sneak down the line from third. He's trying to butt his way aboard. He tried to take that with him. Butted it foul for strike one. Well, Leonis has done a lot of work before batting practice, coming out early. He and Elvis Andrus and Craig Gentry and all the speed guys working on bunting at least once a week, if not several more times than that.
Best bunter the Rangers ever had, bunting for a base hit, maybe not the best ever, but one of them was Gerald Laird.
Yeah.
And one year he bunted about 8 base hits down the third baseline.
Well, you're right.
There's been a number of times if the Ranger bunter could have gotten it down, they would have had a base hit. They just didn't get it down in fair territory or bunted it too close to the pitcher. It was still a work in progress.
That pitch is outside. It's now 2-1 to Leonis. Well, certainly with the speed that the Rangers have, the 3 or 4 guys that are working on this stuff, if you get one of them to lay down some quality bunts, that's a big plus. Out of play to the left, then the count is even at 2-2. Remember when Julio Bourbon, now with the Cubs, you first came up, he dropped down a couple of bunts and beat him out, and all of a sudden he's able to bring the infielders in to slap the ball by him there.
Yeah.
Changes the whole dynamic of defensing the guy. The 2-2 from Porcello. The center field, Kelly coming on, and he gets there in time. That ball hangs up for him. That is out number 2, and Elvis will come to the plate. Elvis Andrus 0 for 2 tonight. Grounds it out. And then with Leonis Martin at third and 1 out in the third. Got jammed on a 3-1 pitch. Hit a little looping line drive to Prince Fielder at first base. First pitch to him. Was thinking fastball and didn't get it.
That's 100% geared into a fastball. But whoops, there it curves.
Oh, darn.
That's not fair.
Shows bunt and takes the pitch down and in. That had Miguel Cabrera coming in. That's the third baseman always keeps coming after the pitch is thrown, so that the hitter thinks that he was further in toward home plate than he really was. Cabrera wasn't even close to the bag when that ball got to home plate. A good low strike, and it's 1-2 to Elvis.
That's the one Elvis was guessing for on the first pitch.
Yeah.
Would have been in pretty good shape if he got it.
Now the 1-2. Laid off that breaking ball. Good job by Andrews to get the count even. 2 balls, 2 strikes. Got him swinging. Off-speed pitch. And down goes Elvis. That is strikeout number 5 for Rick Porcello. Giovanni Soto takes him deep, and the Rangers get on the board. A run on 1 in. We're going to the 6th inning. It's the Tigers 2, the Rangers 1 on TXA 21. I think let's go down to Joel Thomas again. Joel?
All right, thanks, Buzz. I'm going to show you a couple of really great giveaways coming up. This one that Eddie from Burleson is holding here is in honor of 300 saves. Turn it around for me, Eddie. Turn the shirt around. There, thanks, Mom. With Nathan on the back. This one right here will be the Sunday giveaway. The first 10,000 kids 13 and under get that. And then for the adults and kids, this great bobblehead, Nolan Ryan wearing the cowboy duster and cowboy hat from that poster we remember back in the 80s. That one's on Tuesday. The first 30,000 fans get one of these. Tickets still available, Buzz, at TexasRangers.com.
Good stuff, Joel. Yep, there are some available, and make sure you get them. They are going quickly. Joseph Ortiz, a 22-year-old left-hander, now has taken over on the mound. And there are Joseph's numbers. Ground ball deep at first. Nice play by Moreland. Throw into Ortiz. And John Kelly is retired 3-1 if you happen to be scoring along with this. That is out number 1. And Ramon Santiago will come up.
Yeah, tricky little hop, too. Mitch played it nicely. Have a little more time at first base because you don't have to make a throw. Make sure you catch it. And then the flip.
And make sure you don't throw it too tall for Joseph Ortiz. He's not your average 6'4" player coming over there.
No, he's not.
Line drive to center field, moving slightly to his right. Leonis Martin puts it away. Very quick work on the first two hitters by Ortiz. Two gone. Andy Dirks coming up. Ortiz last worked against Houston, so it's been 6 days since Joseph got in the ball game. Worked 2 innings down there in Houston. Had 3 strikeouts and the good work on that Saturday afternoon. Giovanni Soto talking to the left-hander. See if they can get their communication straightened out for what they want to do with Andy Dirks. Dirks has singled each of his last 2 times to the plate. Season average now at 266. Ortiz sets, and the fastball, knee-high strike. Left-hander back to the plate, missed with the breaking ball. 1-1. You know, Ortiz went through that little spell where he had back-to-back outings the end of April that were tough against Minnesota. He had 2 of them against the Twins. And then had one little blip in Houston where he gave up a couple of runs the day before his last outing. Other than that, he has really been good. One hopper out to Elvis. And that'll do it. Oh, a very quick 7-pitch inning for Joseph Ortiz and the Rangers. Tigers out, Rangers coming up in the bottom of the 6th, trailing 2-1 on TXA 21. Tonight's jackpot is worth $600 and dinner for 2 at Sonic Drive-In. Tonight, the Rangers are hitting for Francis King from Dallas. And if a Ranger hits a grand slam during this inning, Francis King from Dallas will win $25,000. You can register at any participating Sonic restaurant. Leory Garcia, the number 2 man in Ron Washington's order of things tonight. We'll start things off against Rick Porcello. Porcello with his 93rd pitch of the night as Garcia shows bunt, pulls it back. It is strike 1. Leory, a line drive to left and a strikeout. 0 for 2 tonight with that batting average now standing at 261. And a comeback fastball looked like. It is 0-2. In case you missed it and wondering about Ian Kinsler, he was given the night off. He had some residual soreness in his upper chest after getting into the bag at third base last night. Swing and a miss, and the strikeout is completed on the throw to first base. So Garcia strikes out for the second time. One away, and Lance Berkman coming up. out in the Tiger bullpen. Smiley, the left-hander, or Ortega, the right-hander. Up and throwing into the Ranger bullpen. It's Jason Frazier. Oh, one away. Here's Berkman. Lance is 2 for 2 tonight. A pair of singles. One to center, one to left. Off of Porcello. 1 ball, no strikes. Lance again approaching that 300 level with the batting average. Just a couple of clicks shy of it. Takes that sinking fastball on the inner part of the plate. Gets 1-1.
I think most people would regard the Tiger rotation 1 through 5 as at least one of the 2 or 3 strongest in all of baseball. Especially if you want to say that Porcello is going to be pitching like this the rest of the year. He's throwing the ball well tonight.
Yes, he is. Berkman gets fisted and grounds out to Peralta, 2 away. Well, folks, online voting is now going on for the 2013 MLB All-Star Game, which is in New York. And you can cast up to 25 ballots at TexasRangers.com. Help send your favorite Rangers to this year's All-Star Game by voting early and often at TexasRangers.com. Here's Adrian Beltre, who had an infield single his last time up. 1 for 2. Takes the breaking ball that hangs high, and it's 1 ball, no strikes. Beltre smoked one right down the third baseline that Cabrera did a great job sprawling across the line to knock down and almost threw him out.
There's some talk in spring training that the Tigers might consider trading Porcello. Turned out they didn't. They had Drew Smiley, who's warming up in the bullpen, as a guy that has started before and I'm sure was getting consideration to start again if they had done that.
Well, needless to say, there were a lot of people interested in talking about Porcello. There's Smiley, the left-hander. Tall, lanky left-hander. But apparently the asking price didn't indicate the Tigers were all that excited about giving him away. Another chopper foul off the bat of Beltre. The count evens at 2-2. Two to 1 Tigers. There you go.
He's pretty excited.
Yes, he is. Beltre taking a little time getting back in the box. Now he's ready to work. And so is Porcello. The 2-2 pitch. The count runs full to Adrian. So Beltre with 2 outs trying to extend the Rangers' 6th inning. If he gets aboard, Nelson Cruz is waiting in that on-deck circle. The Rangers have shown it a 1-run game, and they have the power in the middle of the order to make it very interesting. Hard hit, but pulled foul just outside the bag at third. We'll come back and try it again. Cabrera now playing a couple feet foul territory. He's staying over there, and then got a little chuckle from Beltre as now he's back in fair territory. Again, they pay off pitch. And again, shot foul.
Be careful down that third baseline. They're coming pretty hard over there now. Some people might wonder, well, if he's hitting them all down there, why don't you just play a guy there? A fielder can't start out in foul territory. You cannot do that. Right?
There's a big controversy about that. No, it's been a long time ago, about the first baseman who lined up with 1 foot in foul territory and 1 foot in the bag, and they spread their feet.
Oh yeah, what'd they do about that? Let them do it?
No, they made him line up with both feet either on the line or in fair territory. Cabrera's going to abide by the rules.
Yeah, I'd just soon see him playing foul territory all he wants. Catch a ground ball over there, it's nothing but a foul ball anyway.
Again, the 3-2 coming. And it's ball 4. Adrian works the 2-out walk. So he is aboard, and Nelly Cruz coming to the plate.
Well, this is the most pitches that Porcello's thrown in a game so far this year. And it looks like, according to Jim Leland, he has reached his limit for today.
105 pitches according to our pitch tracker, and Leland asks for the ball. Porcello obliges, and the right-hander will be finished. He will not pitch to the go-ahead run here in the 6th inning. So he is finished after 5 2/3. Ortega on his way in, and while he comes in to warm up, we'll take a timeout. Back right after this on TXA 21. With 2 outs in the first inning, Adrian Beltre, and Nelson Cruz, the hitter, will face Jose Ortega, 24-year-old right-hander from Venezuela. On here, and Nelly Cruz at the plate, 0 for 2. Breaking ball slurves wide of the mark. It is ball 1. Cruz has grounded out twice, once into a double play. Facing Ortega, who last year appeared in just 2 games for the Tigers. That was his initial exposure to the major leagues. Toss to first and drive Beltre back. Adrian drew a 2-out walk. That was the last, but Rick Porcello was allowed to work here. It's given way to Jose Ortega. Right-hander set. The 1-0 pitch. That is high. 2 balls and no strikes.
Big time fastball from the kid. 96 miles an hour.
Ortega called up on the 1st of May. Last work against the Astros 4 days ago. 2-0 the count. And Ortega will drive Beltre back. American League home run leaders, 4 of them at the top of the list, including Nelson Cruz, Chris Davis, Encarnacion, and Reynolds round out the top. Off the end of the back to center field. Long run in for Kelly. He can't get there. Beltre around second will motor into third. And the Rangers have runners at the corners with 2 outs for Mitch Moreland. And I got to believe Moreland's going to face Smiling. See if Jim Leland wants to make sure that time is out here. No, he's not. He's going to stick with Jose Ortega.
That was one of those tough plays for a center fielder. Big swing from a strong guy, but he hit it right off the end of the bat. When you do that, the ball just kind of goes out there like a dud. Doesn't go very far. You hit it off the good part of the bat, jumps out there. Can't really tell from center field. So a lot of times your first step is back, thinking that he hit it good, and then the ball falls in on you.
I think for the golfers, that means kind of like hitting a driver with a club cover still on it. Mitch takes a strike on the inside corner at 97 miles an hour. Mitch tonight 0 for 2, a pair of groundouts against Rick Porcello. Chance to do some damage for the Rangers with 2 outs. Got Beltre over at third, Cruz at first. Rangers trailing 2-1. Ground ball, but right at the second baseman, Santiago. On to first, and that will do it. Well, the Rangers make some 2-out noise, but Ortega gets the job done. They strand a pair. We'll go to the 7th. Tigers 2, Rangers 1. TXA 21. Honda cars of McKinney. Well, Rod Washington has called to the bullpen again, and he has come out with Jason Frazier, the 35-year-old right-hander, to come in and pitch the 7th inning.
Buzz, we got an update on Eric Josephson's Twitter account.
Oh, okay.
Before last night, he had 0 followers. After last night, he had 1. And after tonight, he's up to 191.
Wow. Amazing what a little free advertising does.
Sure is. Now he's got the pressure of coming through with some pretty clever posts.
Think that's going to happen?
Posts, maybe. Clever? I don't know.
Here are your numbers on Jason Frazier. Jason last worked 3 days ago against Oakland. 2/3 of an inning out there. On here to work to Torrey Hunter to start things off. First pitch is wide for ball 1. Hunter, 3 out of the 11 in his career against Jason Frazier. Torrey tonight, you see 0 for 3 all 3 times he has grounded out. Ripping a foul back to the screen. A ball and a strike. Tigers 2 runs on 6 hits, no errors. Rangers 1 run on 6 hits, and they have committed 1 miscue. Frazier back to the plate. Drops that off-speed pitch over the outside corner. It's 1-2.
Good changeup.
The 1-2 pitch. 2-2 now. Torrey Hunter, that batting average of .313 as he faces Jason Frazier here in the 7th inning. Right-hander's ready. Hit in the air to right field. That chases Cruz back. Nelly still going back. At the wall, makes the catch and bumps into the padding. I think that might have carried a little further than Nelly thought it was going to, but he stayed with it and made a nice running catch.
Yeah, a couple of innings ago there was no wind. Now the wind's blowing in, which creates a little bit of a jet stream effect. Might have helped that ball a little bit. But Nelly doesn't yield to the wall this time. Catches it. A little mild face plant into the wall, but most importantly, one out.
Not nearly what Bryce Harper did to himself the other day.
He acted like he didn't think there was a wall there, and he was in a 100-yard dash.
Miguel Cabrera. Perfect night going for the big slugger. He is 3 for 3. 2 singles, a double, and an RBI. Now hitting .378. Check swing, and that pitch just a little bit low. It's 2-0. Jason Frazier has not had a whole lot of luck against Miguel Cabrera. Cabrera is 5 for 9 against Frazier with 2 doubles. The 2-0 pitch is coming. Chopper foul outside of third, and it moves the count to 2-1.
Well, that's about all you can do right there. He threw him a 2-0 changeup out of the strike zone and hope that he swings at it. And right now, the way he's hit the ball the last 4 or 5 times up, everything has been just a rocket. Let's see how you can throw him a strike.
Frazier's next pitch. That is just off the outside edge. 3-1 the count.
He's not throwing him a strike.
No. No, the way the Cabrera is swinging the bat right now, they're much better off, I think, being that careful with him. That's out of play to the right. That pitch is probably off the plate, I would think.
Yep. Not a fastball on 3-1.
Right on the outside corner. Maybe a little bit closer than Jason Frazier wanted it.
And you could tell what he was trying to do, too. He's trying to hit that ball to right field. He wasn't trying to pull it. That's what he does. He's such a great hitter.
3-2 down to Cabrera. Payoff pitch. Inside. Well, if he'd been able to nail down the corner, he had Cabrera, who was looking out over the plate.
Yeah, that's a good idea right there. Good try. Everything away. Tried to sneak one by him inside, but it was off the plate.
So the walk to Cabrera, 1 out. Prince Fielder coming up, and Ron Washington wants the left-hander Robbie Ross to come in this situation. Well, Wash making the pitching change after Frazier gets an out and gives up a walk. He will leave with property at first base. Robbie Ross coming on, and we will take another timeout. Be right back to Rangers Ballpark in Arlington right after this on TXA 21. Ballpark features a weekday matinee this Wednesday. Rangers host the Oakland A's. It's a 1:05 game. Reserve your seats today at TexasRangers.com, or you can call 972-RANGERS. Get in on the fun. Speaking of fun, how about Rangers captain? He's having a good time with some of the kiddos down there in the front row. Robbie Ross on to take on Prince Fielder with a man aboard and one out here in the 7th inning. Fielder 0 for 2 and is hit by a pitch. Goes after the first pitch, loops it into center field. On comes Leonys Martin to make the grab. And Robbie Ross throws one pitch, gets Fielder taken care of. Now he will face Victor Martinez. Prince Fielder 0 for 3 heads back to the dugout. You know, I tell you how strong Fielder is. I thought that ball was going to drop in for a base hit as softly as he hit it, and it carried out to normal depth center field.
He's pretty strong.
Got the numbers on Robbie Ross. He has been lights out coming out of the bullpen.
It's been a nice young combination, righty-lefty, Robbie and Tanner Scheppers.
Martinez now turns around to bat from the right side against the lefty Ross and takes a strike on the inside corner. Martinez 1 for 2 this evening, singled his last time up. Also walked and grounded out. Cabrera at first, 2 outs in the 7th inning. Off the fist out to Garcia at second. He will throw to Elvis at the bag. Force play removes Cabrera and retires the Tigers. After 6.5, it's the Tigers 2, the Rangers 1. Now please join Chuck Morgan as he introduces God Bless America.
To the men and women of armed services both at home and around the world. Tonight we invite you to join in singing God Bless America with Exalt.
God bless America, land that I love. Stand beside her and guide her through the night with the light from above. From the mountains snowy, to the prairies, to the oceans white with foam. God bless America, my home, sweet home. God bless America, my home, sweet home.
It's the exception of Lance Berkman. Everybody else that has a hit has only one. Berkman has a pair of singles, but solo home run by Giovanni Soto has done all of the damage so far for the Rangers. And speaking of Giovanni Soto, he will lead off the bottom of the 7th against hard-throwing Jose Ortega.
You know, Buzz, we were trying to think why Jim Leland didn't bring in the lefty, Drew Smiley, who was having a nice season, to pitch to Mitch Moreland. He probably looked at the stats and saw that Mitch is hitting the same against lefties as he is righties. And lately, he's been hitting a lot better.
Yeah.
So he probably said, heck, he's hitting lefties better than righties. I'll stick with my right-hander.
Good point.
I didn't even think of it at the time, but all I could think of was why you have the lefty warmed up if you're not going to bring him in to face Mitch.
Right.
Well, chances are he's coming in to face David Murphy and Leonis Martin, but Mitch is killing lefties.
Soto 1 for 2 with that home run tonight. And he takes the breaking ball that kind of nestles onto the inside corner for a strike. It's 1-2. Hits are even at 6. The Tigers got both their runs in the 5th inning. And breaking ball low. Rangers scored their run in the bottom of that inning. Giovanni Soto wrapped one right around the foul pole down the left field line for his 2nd home run in as many nights. 2-2 the count. And that breaking ball is wide, and Karams this one down toward the 3rd base line. Count has gone full, so Giovanni trying to get aboard to start the Rangers 7th. He'll be followed by David Murphy. Alex Avila throwing the signs out. Ortega with the payoff pitch. Got him swinging. Breaking ball on 3-2, and Soto is gone. That was the first strikeout for Ortega. One away, and now Jim Leland going to the mound. And you want the left-hander Smiley to come in, and that would probably mean we'll get Jeff Baker to face him. Here's that good breaking ball on 3-2 to Giovanni Soto. So Ortega finished after 2/3 of an inning. And a pitching change underway with Smiley coming on. We will take another timeout here at Rangers Ballpark on TXA 21. One in the 7th inning. One out, base is empty, and the left-hander, 23-year-old Drew Smiley, on for the Tigers.
Having a nice season for Jim Leland out of the bullpen. Nice ERA below 2. Opponent's batting average right around 200. Smiley has done a pretty nice job when he's been in the rotation too. Got nice depth in their starting rotation. Verlander, Pfister, Sanchez, Porcello, and Scherzer form a terrific group of 5 starters, and then to have Smiley in the bullpen as a potential spot starter, 6th starter. Pretty nice assortment of solid starting pitching for the Tigers.
And Smiley will face Jeff Baker as a pinch hitter. So Baker coming off the bench, taking over for David Murphy. Smiley's first pitch is a knee-high strike. It's 0-1. Baker hitting .350. 4 home runs, 7 RBI. Takes that pitch off the plate inside. And it's 1-1. Baker 1 out of 7 as a pinch hitter. Smiley back to the plate. Fires strike 2. Got a nice easy motion and pops 92 out with not much of an effort. Low and inside, 2 balls and 2 strikes. Baker has never faced Smiley before. Get a look at his motion. A lot of elbows and kneecaps coming at you from a hitter's perspective, I think. Now the 2-2. Got him swinging. And Baker gone on strikes. That is the second out. And now Leonis Martin being called back.
Good off-speed pitch. Looked like a fastball. Good location with it as well.
Well, Greg Gentry now has come off the bench, and he will pitch hit for Leonis Martin. But Greg at .239, a home run, 7 driven in. Gentry 1 out of 5 as a pinch hitter this year, and this has been pretty much the MO for the Rangers, whether it be a right-handed starter or a left-handed starter. When the change is made, say from the 6th inning on, almost always the opposite number, whether it be Gentry for Martin or Martin for Gentry. Same thing, Baker and Murphy. Ron Washington has pulled that most of the time of late. A ball and a strike to Craig. Now 2-1. Gentry 0 for 2 against Smiley. Left-hander into the wind. And the pitch very high. It is 3-1. Go with 2 outs now. Gentry and his good speed trying to get aboard. He's able to. Then he go back to the top of the order. That means Elvis Andrus. Smiley hands together in front, goes to the wind. 3-1 pitch. That catches the inside part of the plate. It's 3-2. Gentry settles back in. Smiley reading the signs, and the payoff pitch on the ground behind third. Long throw by Cabrera. The tag now, he missed him. Safe on the throwing error by Cabrera. Craig Gentry is aboard with the tying run and 2 outs here in the 7th inning.
Yeah, that's underestimating Gentry's speed or not knowing what it is. Cabrera has a strong arm. He makes the play in plenty of time. He just takes a little bit too much time right there. Doesn't give fielder any chance to make the tag at first base. Get rid of it immediately. Fielder might have been able to slap the tag on Gentry, who runs right by him.
Well, the first error tonight committed by the Tigers, and they came into the game this evening 2nd in the American League in the best fielding percentage. That is their 14th error. Well, we'll see if Gentry now can read Smiley effectively enough to get the stolen base. And first ball swinging. Long drive, deep right center field off the bat of Andrews, but it's run down by Don Kelly. Well, Elvis gave it a ride. He sent Kelly into deep right center. Rangers are gone. We'll go to the 8th inning. 2-1 Detroit on TXA 21. To the 8th inning. And tomorrow we'll be right back here with you. 7 o'clock start. And Ebal Sanchez on the hill for the Tigers. He's 4-3 with a listening 2.05 ERA. And Justin Grimm gets the start, his 7th of the year. He is 2-3 with a 4.28. Back with you on Fox Sports Southwest. Jeff Baker remains in the game, takes over in left field. And in center now, Craig Gentry will patrol the middle of the diamond out there. Robbie Ross to work to Alex Avila starting off the 8th inning, and he fires a first pitch strike. It's 0-1. Avila, a sacrifice fly tonight. He came back in the 5th inning, drove in the 2nd run and the last run for the Tigers. 1-1 now, the count. Avila, the catcher, and hitting 6th. To be followed by Peralta and Kelly here in the Tiger 8th inning. Out of play to the left. It is 1-2. Good crowd on hand here tonight. Almost 43,000 in attendance. Here to watch the Rangers-Tigers matchup. 42,778 to be exact. Ross ready. The 1-2 to Avila. Checked his swing. He went around. The appeal down to Jerry Meals III, and Avila becomes the first strikeout victim for Robbie Ross. One away for Peralta.
Good call. Well, the Ranger offense has been slowed down by Tiger pitching tonight. And while Nick Tepesh may not have been as sharp as he would like to have been through a lot of pitches, I think still, if you could say 5 innings and 2 runs against this Tiger team, you'd say that's not a bad job.
Yeah.
So he battled tonight, worked hard. Rick Porcello and so far the Tiger relievers have held the Rangers down.
1 ball, no strikes the count to Johnny Peralta, the shortstop. And that pitch is low. Looked like he pulled the string on it. It is 2-0. Peralta walked his first time up. That was back in the 2nd. Since then he has flied to center and struck out. Got him on the fist, and Ross inducing a ground ball foul. 2-1. Joaquin Benoit starting to loosen in the Tiger bullpen. Here's their 8th inning guy, and they've had some problems in the back end of the bullpen this year. Jose Valverde has come back to reassume the closer's role. Hard hit ground ball, but foul outside third. It is 2-2. Peralta 0 for 3 against Robbie Ross in his career as a Tiger. Ross comes set. Tried to drop the breaking ball in and just missed. Well, that'll run the count full, and look how close this one was.
Close enough.
Close enough to be in the bottom of the strike zone. Didn't get the call, though, and the count's gone full, 3-2. Adrian Beltre snags it off to his left. That's out number 2.
He's got those feet moving until he goes to throw the ball. Then he plants them.
Stops everything,
yeah,
except for his arm. He is something. Don Kelly now will step to home plate. Kelly 0 for 3. He's grounded it out all 3 times. And the first pitch is a strike at the knees.
Robbie's gotten 4 outs on 14 pitches.
the 0-1. It is 0-2. Robbie heating it up a little bit at 93. Got a little extra giddy up on that one. Ross on the 0-2 pitch to center field. Jonas Martin froze for a second, now backs up a couple, and that'll do it. So Robbie Ross has retired all 5 that he has faced. Tigers gone to the 8th. Rangers coming up, needing 1 to tie, with Detroit leading 2-1. The Rangers' only offensive output of the night. Giovanni Soto in the 5th inning against Rick Porcello. His 2nd home run in as many nights. Giovanni Soto with our Honda flashback moment. Get a great deal during the really big spring event. Right now at your Honda dealer. Now our old friend Joaquin Benoit, a Ranger for the first 11 years of his professional career. Pitched with the Rangers from 2001 through 2008. And he has found a home in Detroit, pitching extremely well the last couple of years for the Tigers.
And the one thing he's done is he's stayed healthy. They gave him a big contract, 3-year contract for a lot of money. And Jim Leland has worked him hard, and Joaquin has withstood the workload and given him a quality effort.
Leori Garcia leading things off for the Rangers in the 8th inning. And he takes ball 1.
Benoit will throw 94-mile-an-hour fastball, an occasional slider, and a strikeout pitch is his changeup.
Benoit is always working from the stretch. And Garcia lines one to right field. Hunter coming in a hurry. He has to play it on a hop. And a leadoff single puts the tying run aboard with speed in the person of Leori Garcia.
Second ball, Leori's hit hard tonight. First time up, he lined out to left field. Benoit just trying to get ahead of him with a fastball, but he jumped on it. She got it up in the air a little bit.
So Garcia aboard, and now Lance Berkman. Berkman tonight is 2 for 3. He singled his first 2 times up. Last time up in the 6th, he grounded out to shortstop. Garcia with very good speed at first base. And Benoit will go to work on it. Benoit now traditionally pretty slow to the plate. He has had that problem ever since he first came up with the Rangers. He will slide step occasionally, but he can run, or you can run on him fairly easily. We'll see if Garcia has been filled in enough to realize that with Benoit. Berkman popped it up. Shallow right field. Going out is Santiago making the call on the catch. And Berkman, first ball swinging, just a little bit out in front of it. That is out number one.
Yeah, in that particular case, Benoit was fortunate he threw him a changeup. That's had the swing, the trajectory. He just got out in front of it a little bit. Oh, he's upset with that.
Yep.
It's one of those you just a tick out in front of it. Just missed it.
Joe Nathan, the Ranger closer, getting ready in the bullpen. He's hoping if he pitches the ninth inning, it's going to be with a lead. Well, one gone. Here is Adrian Beltre. Beltre has had the most at bats of any Ranger hitter against Joaquin Benoit, 20 of them. Up the middle, that's a base hit. Garcia around second, headed for third. He will make it without a throw. And the Rangers now with runners at the corners, just one out, and Nelson Cruz coming up.
There's been some line drives in this series, boy. Cabrera's hit most of them, but that was a rope. That looked like a Cabrera line drive. Low line drive. Benoit was getting out of the way of that one. The Rangers had a man on third and one out in the third. First and second, no outs in the fourth. First and third, 2 outs in the sixth. Those were scoring opportunities that they didn't take advantage of. And here again in the eighth, it's first and third and 1 out.
You see the numbers down there at the bottom for Nelson Cruz against Joaquin Benoit. 2 for 3 with a home run. Garcia at third, Beltre at first, and the pitch fouled back. And boy, he had a pitch to work with. Really Cruz fouling it back.
Like a cut fastball that he had a good rip at.
One out. The tying run at third. The go-ahead run at first in the eighth inning. Benoit okays the sign and sets. The 0-1. Now Cruz down in an 0-2 hole.
It's a changeup. Good location with both of the first 2 pitches. Tough situation. Got a strikeout pitcher. 0-2. Benoit 24 strikeouts in 18 innings.
Benoit set for the 0-2 pitch. It's on the way. Double play ground ball to second. To flip the 1. The return to first in time. Benoit gets out of a first and third 1-out jam. A double play ground ball off the bat of Nelly Cruz. The second one he has hit into tonight. Rangers gone in the eighth. No runs on 2 hits, 1 left. We're going to the ninth. 2-1 Detroit. in select seating areas for most Tuesday home games. Next Tuesday home game coming up May 21st against the Oakland A's. Now get your tickets today at TexasRangers.com/specials and use the coupon code OZARKA. Ramon Santiago starting off the ninth inning against Robbie Ross. Takes the next pitch from Ross down and in. It's 2 balls and no strikes. Santiago 0 for 3 tonight. Ross back to him, misses inside. And the count is 3-0. Robbie Ross has retired all 5 hitters that he has faced so far, but he has fallen behind Ramon Santiago. And he misses low for ball 4. A leadoff walk here in the ninth inning. And when you're talking about the Tiger lineup, that is never a good thing to walk the number 9 man. And it's going to bring a visit from Mike Maddox. Kind of slow things down here and let Robbie take a moment, get a breather, and refocus himself. Meanwhile, a pinch runner going to be Omar Infante coming off the Tiger bench. He will take over at first for Ramon Santiago. So Infante in as a pinch runner, and no doubt will be in at second base when we go out for the bottom of the ninth. Corey Burns loosening rather quickly in the Ranger bullpen. And home plate umpire Ron Cope out there to speed up the meeting as Burns continues to throw in a hurry. Infante, the pinch runner at first, and Andy Dirks, the left-handed hitting left fielder, is at the plate. Adrian Beltre creeping down the line from third, expecting bunt. He is or squares the bunt. It's out in front of home. They're going to second for the force. They get it and almost have time to turn 2. Giovanni Soto really bouncing out from behind home plate in a hurry and got that attempted sacrifice. Got the force at second base. Good play.
Just didn't get it far enough out toward the pitcher. That turns into a nice easy out at second base. Get that lead runner.
Well, that's the first out, and that's going to be the last one for Robbie Ross, as Ron Washington with the right-handers Hunter and Cabrera coming up is going to go to the bullpen. He wants Corey Burns to come on in and face those 2 right-handed hitters. Burns, who was recalled from AAA yesterday prior to the game, worked an inning last night, and he'll be brought into a difficult spot here in the ninth inning. And runner at first, 1 out, and Hunter and Cabrera coming up. Burns coming on? Well, he does. We'll take a timeout right back after this on TXA 21. striking out with a couple of right-handers coming up in favor of Corey Burns. Burns on for the second night in a row. Worked in last night's game, 1 inning, allowed 1 walk, but that was it. See the numbers on Corey Burns at AAA Round Rock. He was their primary closer down there.
Ron Washington didn't waste any time getting Corey into a game last night. He had to throw over 20 pitches. And now he's into a tight ball game, 2-1 ball game, facing some tough hitters coming up right here.
And Michael Kirkman starting to loosen in the Ranger bullpen. We're looking down the lineup to probably Prince Fielder. 2 hitters down the way. First, though, it's Corey Burns facing Torrey Hunter. And a toss to first will drive Andy Dirks back. Dirks tried to get the sacrifice bunt down, but didn't get it far enough away from Giovanni Soto, and he got the force out at second. So Dirks taking the place of Omar Infante at first. Burns to the plate, and the pitch is high for ball 1. Last night, Corey came on and faced Avila, Peralta, Kelly, and Infante. Did not face the top of the order for the Tigers, and that's where he is here tonight. Corey, the 25-year-old, came over from San Diego. Saw his first major league action last year with the Padres. Pretty much a fastball changeup specialist. He has a dandy changeup. Hunter 0 for 4 tonight. Grounded out 3 times and flied to right field. Ground ball to third. It is just fouled beyond the bag. Beltre over there to make the grab, maybe 6 inches on the foul side of the bag.
Perfect view of it. Look at the umpire bearing down. He has a tough call because eventually the fielder is going to go between him and the ball. He called it right. Jerry Meals at third base. Good call, Jerry.
Well, the count is 1-1 to Torrey Hunter. That changeup that slipped out of the grip of Corey Burns. It's way inside. 2-1 now. Hunter checking down at third base. Tom Brookins down there. Andy Dirks, the runner at first. Dirks, as we mentioned, pretty good speed over there. He's stolen 4 bases without being caught this year. And Hunter skies one to medium right center field. Nelly Cruz over to make the grab. Back to first goes Dirks. And now Cabrera coming up, and Mike Maddox is going to go out and make sure everybody knows what they want to do with Cabrera. Corey Burns kind of looking around like, what are you doing coming out here? I want to make sure you understand we do not want to let Miguel Cabrera hurt us in this situation. And if you can pitch around him without intentionally walking him, that's fine. If you can't pitch around him, we'll intentionally walk him.
Basically, in this series, that means don't throw him a strike. Anything that's been a strike, he is hit hard. 3 for 3 tonight. 3 ropes and a walk in the 7th inning.
And Mike's letting Giovanni Soto do most of the talking. He trusts that Giovanni Soto, being back there when Cabrera's come to the plate, knows exactly what has gone on. That conference is concluded. Ron Culp had gone out to kind of hurry things along a bit. So here's Cabrera, who is 3 for 3 with a walk. 2 singles, a double, an RBI, and a run scored. Dirks at first with a modest lead. And Burns comes to the plate. First pitch is with a towering fly ball to right field. Near the line into foul territory, and the ball just creeping into the first row out of Nelly Cruz's reach.
Hoping that would stay fair for Nelly to make the play. Catch and release. Thank you very much, sir. Make sure the right little guy gets it.
There you go.
Took some teamwork to get it to the right person.
Very
that time.
nice. Very nice. Burns ready. The 0-1 pitch on the way. Oh, good changeup. 0-2.
That's where you want to throw it to. Down and away.
Crowd of nearly 43,000 imploring Corey Burns to get this out. Got him swinging.
That's a pretty good changeup.
Cabrera struck out by Burns. They leave one aboard to the Tigers. We're going to the bottom of the ninth inning. On that high note, the Tigers 2, the Rangers 1 on TXA 21. Try and save a game against the Rangers for the Tigers. And it wasn't too long ago, about 3.5 weeks ago, that Jose Valverde didn't have a job in Major League Baseball. Tigers, though, got to the point where they needed their former closer to become their present closer.
Well, they lost some games early because of late inning bullpen faltering. But Papa Grande was ready for the call. He's pitched 7 innings. He's only given up 1 hit. You know, he may not have the same stuff that he had a couple of years ago. It's still pretty good. But he's got the courage to be a closer.
Yep.
He's got the mentality for it. That's kind of who he is out there. Very demonstrative. Pumps his fist. A lot of enthusiasm. See if Mitch can breed him a little base hit right here. Rangers have wasted 2 first and third 1-out opportunities. First and second, no out, and a first and third with 2 outs. So they had 4 pretty good opportunities to score runs tonight that they just haven't taken advantage of. Nelly hit the ball pretty hard to second base last inning with men on first and third. Unfortunately, it was right at the second baseman Infante who turned a double play. Tying run was at third base.
So here we go. Bottom of the ninth inning, a 2-1 Tiger lead. Jose Valverde will face Mitch Moreland to start things off. Mitch tonight 0 for 3. And that's about as far overdue as he has been in the last 4 weeks. 1 for 4 lifetime against Valverde. And Mitch Moreland to start things off. Rangers with 3 outs to work with. They need 1 to tie and 2 to walk on out of here. Valverde into the line, the first pitch. Check swing, it's high for ball one. Valverde had his contract purchased from Single A Lakeland on the 24th of April.
He still throws 94 miles an hour, too.
That's going to be a very awkward looking motion if you're a hitter, too. Kind of herky-jerky, and ball must seem it comes out of his jersey to you.
Yep.
1-0 pitch to Moreland. And a good rip at that high fastball, and it's 1-1.
95 miles an hour. He might be throwing better now than he was the last couple of years.
You know, a lot of gyrations. And how much does the guy that does that on the mound bother you as a hitter? I know you're focused on the ball, but
yeah, you try to block out all the movement and just focus on where he's going to let go of the ball. And if you can block it all out, then it won't matter too much. If you get caught up in all the movement and the herky-jerkiness, then it definitely can throw you off.
2-1 to Mitch. Moreland tonight has grounded it out 3 times. All 3 to the right side of the infield. Adrian Beltre and Nelson Cruz. Jonas Martin. And the whole group peering in from the dugout. Rangers trying to make a comeback here in the 9th inning. The 2-1 pitch from Valverde. Out of play down the left field line. It's 2-2.
Keeping the ball away from Mitch, up and away.
Rangers with 13 come from behind wins this year. That's the most in the American League. They'd like to make that 14 here tonight. Moreland, little squib fly ball down the left field line. That's going to get back in the second row. And the count remains at 2-2.
She says you can have it. She was upset she didn't catch it, I think. She had her glove there. Very nice stuff.
Mitch stepping back in. You get a look from the dugout perspective. Valverde okays the sign. Into the wind he goes. And again the 2-2 pitch. Fisted him and a 2-hopper out to Infante, the second baseman. 1 gone. Valverde able to get that very important first out. Now Giovanni Soto, who has provided the sum total of the Ranger offense as far as scoring tonight is concerned, will step in. Soto is second home run in as many nights back in the 5th inning. 0 for 4, as you can see, against Jose Valverde. And earlier in the game, back in the 5th inning, here's what Giovanni looked like against Rick Porcello. Got that sinker about thigh high on the inner part of the plate and drove it right around the foul pole. The 0-1 pitch. 1-1. Rangers looking for their first win when they've trailed after 8 innings here tonight. Ball 2. That's one thing that Valverde has always done, even when drive his manager crazy. But he has always had trouble throwing strike after strike consistently. He'd get guys out, but it wouldn't be because he was pounding the strike zone necessarily. Just had such good stuff that strikes he threw were hard to do anything with. Now the 2-1 coming to Soto. Outside, 3 balls and a strike. But Giovanni trying to get aboard. Jim Leland And I've been here before with this. Soto to be followed by Jeff Baker. Almost the entire crowd has stayed around for the finale of this one. Fireworks after, and they hope for a little earlier version for fireworks here in the 9th inning. High ball 4, and the tying run is aboard after the 1-out walk.
The Rangers have had 4 good opportunities to score other than the home run that Soto hit. Hopefully they'll take advantage of an opportunity right here.
Ian Kinsler now is going to come out and pinch run for Giovanni Soto, so that opens up a lot of other possibilities that you would not have had with Soto running the base path. So Kins feeling well enough with that chest problem to get out there as a pinch runner, and he is 3 out of 5 in the stolen base category this year. Baker came on in the 7th inning as a pinch hitter and struck out. Ground ball to the right side. Flag down. A nice play by Infante. Had only one play. That was to get Baker at first. But on the play, Ian Kinsler gets to second. So the Rangers have the tying run in scoring position with 2 outs. And Craig Gentry coming up.
Almost shot it into right field for first and third. But Infante made a nice play. Right in the tip of his glove, he was able to snare it. Well, what we need here is a little blooper to tie this ball game.
Now Gentry reached on an error by Miguel Cabrera in his only at bat. That was back in the 7th as a pinch hitter. The 0 for 1 tonight, hitting .236. Ian Kinsler, the pinch runner at second base. And Valverde hits the outside corner for strike 1. Kinsler, the pinch runner. Ron Washington used his regular second baseman coming off the bench. The run for Soto. He's carrying the tying run in this game. Gentry down on the count, 0-1. Now down to his last strike. Valverde planting that right foot on the extreme first base side of the pitching rubber. Jim Leyland watching his closer go through the motions. And now he's ready. The 0-2 pitch. Ground ball to the right side. Up with it is Infante. On to first, and that will do it. So both Baker and Gentry ground out to second base. Kinsler stranded. The Rangers have their 3-game winning streak snapped here tonight. The Tigers win this ball game by a score of 2-1. And we will be back to Rangers Ballpark in Arlington to wrap this up right after this on TXA 21.